Nuke the whales? You don't really believe that, do you?
I don't know. Gotta nuke something.
Touché.
On March 12, 2023, Brendan Fraser took a welcome and much-deserved stride back into the spotlight. After years in a cruel and undeserved physical, personal and professional wilderness, he received the Oscar for Best Actor, and officially ushered in the transformative encore we'd all been rooting for.
Thank you again, each one and all. I'm so grateful to you. Good night.
There is, however, an unfortunate but unavoidable postscript to this happy ending. And that's that, well, the whale is kind of bad.
Yeah. Well.
Truth be told, it's a conflicted, hypocritical mess of metaphors, mawkish manipulation, and mayonnaise, held together by fantastic actors who are desperately trying to save it.
Well, I've had it with IFO. His bad review is sinking our melodrama.
Then why did you put yours in the window?
It's nicer than what he said about the Boondock Saints.
Charlie, a morbidly obese shut-in on the cusp of death, spends his final days attempting reconciliation with his estranged daughter and reckoning with the loss of his partner. Let's start with the proverbial 600-pound oceanic elephant in the room, and that's Charlie's size. His sorry state is no doubt meant to serve as the physical manifestation of his grief and guttural regret, both figuratively and literally weighing him down, his compulsive eating born of some insatiable need to fill a naked absence.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I know all this.
While all of that may have been the authorial and directorial intent, after all, everyone involved speaks of the mindful sensitivity with which they approached this material, every cinematic tool at Darren Aronofsky's disposal is wielded with a dehumanizing sadism, while the camera practically gags in revulsion at a man it claims to love. Now, you could say that Indignity is fair game for artistic exploration, and of course you'd be right, as it's been handled with brutal, telling truth by everyone from Noé to Haneke, Audiard to Lynch. The difference between The Whale and the likes of The Elephant Man or Amour, which broadly deal with life-altering conditions that restrict a character's liberty and autonomy, is that they take a considerate, nuanced look at the sociological and psychological depths of indignity and its human cost. By contrast, The Whale relishes every mortifying moment with a voyeuristic, salivating glare. To be fair, in translating this from the stage to the screen, Aronofsky does strive for something beyond the superficial. Charlie's muted wardrobe and the soft, naturalistic use of light sees him blending in with the cluttered disarray that surrounds him. Boxed in by a 4:3 aspect ratio and captured in wide shots that linger without artistic embellishment, he almost vanishes amidst the messy remnants of his lost life. That is until we're bludgeoned with close-ups of candy draws and gaping maws, and it becomes clear that our director is happy to default to ugly embarrassment whenever he's struggling to find something meaningful to say, which with this screenplay happens a lot. The score that accompanies Charlie's gorging bouts stings with the minor key discord, usually reserved for anxiety-inducing horror. The Foley is cranked so that every lip-smacking sound hungrily cuts through the audio mix. The camera's fetishistic gaze rubbernecking at each sweaty spectacle. Despite Aronofsky's condemnations of those who would use fat people as a cheap joke, he couches any number of shots in the same dehumanizing cinematic language that is so often used for comedy. In one of the earliest scenes, Charlie doggedly tries to masturbate to gay pornography, triggering a cardiac emergency in the process. Then, oh no, in walks a door-to-door evangelical teen to uncomfortably gawk at this awkward situation. It's like they dry-welded an American Pie cold open to a melodrama about abandonment and self-destruction.
Oh my God!
Then there are the come-to-bed eyes Charlie makes at every morsel of food, the flippant one-liners that betray any hope of earnest contemplation.
I will shove a knife right into you, I swear to God!
Go ahead. What's it gonna do? My internal organs are 2 feet in at least.
I mean, they even repeatedly use shots of him drinking diet soda in direct contrast with his size, a la every hacky joke about someone ordering a Diet Coke with their McDonald's. Breaking things down scene by scene, nary an interaction occurs in which Charlie isn't harassed, hurt, or humiliated.
Unless you're dying, there's no way I'm going in there.
For the supporting players, he's a sin-eating sponge to sit and take every barb and bitter lash so that they may find themselves or trigger some grand epiphany.
Hey, stop! This is disgusting.
Yes!
I'm disgusting!
Yes! You're disgusting!
As Katie Rife over at Polygon writes, the movie thinks it's saying, you don't understand, he's fat because he's suffering. But it ends up saying, you don't understand, we have to be cruel to fat people because we're suffering.
I don't care about you. Get that through your fucking skull.
Ellie, please.
Just fucking die already!
Ultimately, the burden of Charlie's existence is shown as a crushing gravitational force on all who enter his orbit.
Chew your food like a normal human being, you could have just died right in front of me!
While his decline and eventual death function as some beautiful denouement. As this text repeatedly infers, his demise would offer his daughter financial security and his former wife closure, validate the gospel of this wayward preacher, and free his nurse/de facto sister-in-law from the responsibility of his care and the anguish of watching him deteriorate. And all of this veers dangerously close to outright encouraging him to die?
What?
Not as an end-of-life courtesy, but because his death would be a net positive and valuable learning experience for everyone else. Which is just...
What?
It's here, in its Christ-like sacrifice of a decent man so that others may be saved, that The Whale starts its spray-and-pray biblical references, aimed by Aronofsky with the elegance and accuracy of a crooked blunderbuss drunkenly fired into the sky.
I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards.
So the narrative plays out over a week as an obvious parallel with the Holy Week in which Jesus died and rose again. There's a whole bunch of recurring numerology nonsense with the number 12, some nods to the second Isaiah, who served the greater good whilst repulsing those around him, and in case you didn't get it yet, an actual doubting Thomas.
I don't know what to do.
Then again, the Whale is so terrified of picking a side when it comes to religion or anything else, that it just belches out contradictory messages whenever it dares to open its mouth.
He's refusing to go to the hospital. What he needs is spiritual guidance.
And you're gonna give him that?
No. God will.
We're expressly shown that faith and spirituality can be a baptizing light to remind us that people are good and radiate towards absolution.
People are amazing.
Oh, except the burden is on the victims, who are encouraged to embrace and exonerate those that hurt them. And we'll just take all that monstrous manipulation and family-killing, fear-mongering hatred and sweep that under the rug. Because, yay messianic allegories?
Through the spirit you can put to death the misdeeds of the body and you will live.
Back off, ya spooky bitch!
Man, shut your eyes.
Aronofsky has proven himself intimately familiar with stories about frail bodies failing indomitable spirits, and the destructive avenues people take as an escape from their existential despair. Requiem for a Dream is a collapsed vein in the arms of those in the pursuit of happiness. The Fountain proposes that death is the road to awe and that to live forever would be a lonely curse. The Wrestler finds an old soul blessed with hindsight but stuck in a pattern of self-flagellation as his heart slowly gives out. Noah and Mother are not half as smart as they think they are, but visually striking conflations of environmental and biblical hokum. Comparatively, The Whale is a waterlogged also-ran of the themes he's been trawling through for over 25 years.
I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life!
In Aronofsky's defense, this time he's tethered himself to source material that's just, well, a bad calorically empty schmaltz burrito. If you've ever cringed at the kid filming a plastic bag in American Beauty, render that scene down to hog fat and rub it on a legal pad until the stage play of The Whale miraculously bubbles up from the grease.
Bye bye, everybody!
This is the kind of vapid tripe that has characters nearly bursting into tears over the heartrending honesty of a student saying, "I don't know what a radiologist does." This isn't a joke, that actually happened.
Christy, you wrote, "My parents want me to be a radiologist, but I don't even know what that is." These amazing, honest things that you wrote, they matter.
Charlie's optimistic outlook could pass for a commendable trait in a good man, but every note of it rings utterly false, if not outright antithetical to everything we see and hear. He waxes lyrical about how inherently selfless everyone is.
Do you ever get the feeling that people are incapable of not caring?
Despite his students getting him fired, his ex-wife denying him child visitation, Thomas' explicit bigotry and fealty to a church that killed his boyfriend, and the fact that his daughter is a despicable monster.
There'll be a grease fire in hell when he starts to burn.
Given that this is all from Charlie's POV, I can accept his unconditional love in the abstract. But in practice and narrative execution, Ellie is just an assemblage of hurt people hurting people cliches, and an intolerant, homophobic, manipulative, cruel, blackmailing, body-shaming, coercive, drink-spiking, anti-intellectual bullying example of the dissonance between what The Whale shows us about these characters and what it tells us to feel about these characters.
Take a hit.
I don't want
If you don't take a hit, I'm gonna call the police and I'm gonna tell them that you tried to rape me. Take a hit.
I'm worried that she's forgotten what an amazing person she is. I just thought that maybe we could spend some time with each other.
I'm not spending time with you. You're disgusting.
I couldn't ask for a more incredible daughter.
She was off making her classmates cry or slashing her teacher's tires.
You're so beautiful. You're amazing.
Crap. That's what that was. A load of bloody crap.
As with all the other hackneyed attempts at tear-jerking triteness here, it's a complete lie, and yet another example of The Whale proselytizing about the importance of salvation without having the courage to hold anyone accountable, least of all itself. Darren Aronofsky has tackled sensitive subjects that span time and space, while crisscrossing metaphysical and astral planes of existence. So it's strange to see him trip and fall so far and so frequently when he's tasked with filming a man eating himself to death on a sofa for 2 hours. This is a crowning example of an ensemble elevating material beyond its substantive worth. Each fantastic performance valiantly kicking against the current as they're all dragged under by toothless prose and phony sentiment. The Whale is a film that telegraphs its sense of importance at every turn, without actually putting in the reflective legwork or editorial discipline to come anywhere close to the profundity it's aching for, all while completely refusing to take a stance on any issue or put even an ounce of weight behind any of its contradictory, cowardly convictions.
Haven't I been telling you?
You have.
Some blubbering Oscar bait for our Patreon producers Jennifer C, Claire MD, Becky O, Hales and Rue, Historically Dumb, Jake R and Nicholas Hilaire Revere, and a Brendan Fraser for all these amazing folks who support us over on Patreon. So what did you make of The Whale? But more importantly, what is your favourite Brendan Fraser movie? Let me know down in the comments, make sure you do the like, share, subscribe stuff, and if you're in a position to do so, check out our Patreon at the link in the description below to sign up to the Infame Out Film Club, get access to our Discord, and see your name in the end credits. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, this is Infame Out.